I could tell you guys one thing. Please write this down. Embrace this as a game. Embrace this process as a game, like a puzzle or a Rubik's Cube or a crossword. It's a challenge that you can totally overcome. But you have to embrace it as a game, which in and of itself says you better damn well be learning how to have fun while you're doing it. You can bring play into it. I want you to think of it like Play-Doh. You're playing with it. You're learning how to shape it, right? Okay, Liz, give us your take on vendor partner reference calls and going 3 deep with people. As long as you asked questions, got curious, went 3 deep, and you feel like it gave you incredible results in terms of relationship and outcomes, just give us the quick synopsis on what your reflections are from those 5 conversations.
So one of the clients, and I was getting testimonials for a housekeeper, and one of her clients is actually a big investor, both residential and commercial. So of course that makes me think, so you must be licensed too. And he's like, no, I'm not. I said, oh, so which realtor do you use? And he actually said, well, I actually fired my realtor 6 months ago. And so that kind of led to a conversation. But what it made me realize, and I said to him, because he just bought a shopping center, he goes, listen, if you ever need any of my trades, you can call me. And I was like, you know what? I was going to ask you because I often do get asked. So that's just a quick little example of how that natural conversation and my being curious about, you're a real estate investor, you have residential and commercial. What does that mean? Does he need a realtor?
I find, sometimes, and I think most of us, we're people, you can have a feel for people on the other side of the phone, and you can tell when people on the other side of the phone start to kind of clam up and they really just want to get the information for the app or give you the information for the reference and then move on. And so for me, depending on what kind of mood I'm in, maybe I go with that. I'm just like, cool, great, thank you for this info. And then always go into, is there any way that I can help you? What do you need off of my list? Right? If they're a little closed off, I might not ask them about, do you have like references for me? Because I've got plenty of people to still call personally. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? Like, let's make this a game. I can tell that you don't want to be on the phone with me, but you haven't actually told me that. How many questions can I ask you before you actually say, I have a meeting that I have to get to in 10 minutes, or like, this has been great, but I really got to go, or whatever. It's not honestly on me to end the conversation, even though I can feel their discomfort.
That is a massive transformation right there. I will tell you that when Darcy used to Voxer me, Darcy would consistently be like, I was a little worried about taking up too much of their time. So I said ABC, or, then I got off the phone. That was a very recurring theme. And now what Darcy's expressing to us is, you know what? It's not on me to uphold their boundary. If they have a boundary, they can tell me what their boundary is, but I'm going to shoot for connection and relationship until they shut me down. And if they do shut me down, it's not necessarily about who I am as a person either. It's about what they got going on in their life, right?
Thanks so much for your time today,
Darcy,
so much growth, Darcy. So much growth.
I have some questions for you. How many conversations do you think you have on average each week?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I know my goal is always 10. I know I'm pretty consistently exceeding that. I would say maybe I'm in the, like, I don't know, 15 to 20 range, more like.
I would say that's totally accurate. And then Darcy, how many recaps do you send a day?
Pretty much every single one.
Yeah. So I get about 15 to 20 recaps a week from Darcy. And then what role do you think that volume of conversational practice, as well as the recapping, what role did that play in you figuring out that you can naturalize the model?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things. For one,
Oh, I'm in my
once you hear the same feedback from Danielle once or twice, it's like, okay, that's the area to focus on. So I think, hearing from Danielle, like, relax, take your time, like, it's okay. And hearing and tweaking, hearing from Danielle, oh, here's where you didn't follow the model, recapping myself and being aware of where I didn't follow the model, all of that kind of tightened it up and helped me just really integrate to the point where I don't necessarily think that I need to have the model in front of me to kind of hit those things. And then also that amount of volume and practice just like takes the pressure off of any given call. I don't have to find a deal today or like even necessarily this week if I did a great job like last week or whatever. So it's just like, okay, you know, I'm calling this person to find out what I can, and if it goes well, awesome. If it doesn't go great, like that's fine. On to the next one.
Okay, so the way that other people, their pipeline helps them, if they lose a deal, they're not so concerned because they've got a pipeline. You're actually viewing the conversations that way. You're having enough of a volume of conversations to where if they don't go great, you're not worried. Or if you don't find a deal today, you're not worried because the volume is what's insulating you from that, from feeling like you might fail, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And then also in combination with that, your feedback, right? Like I will have a conversation where I was like, I don't know, man, I tried and I wasn't able to get anything from this person. And Danielle will be like, you followed the model, you did everything you could. This is a person that you did not have a lot of rapport with. And like sometimes that happens. Like that's cool. That's okay.
Yeah, just validation, I guess. And then you
Yeah.
get more and more confident because what you're seeing is getting validated by someone else as well.
Yeah.
You're being
Darcy,
told
one
you're
other
not
question
crazy.
for you.
Yeah.
One other question for you is, are you starting to see yourself being able to self-assess yourself after the call?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's from Boxering and Danielle being able to tell you what you're missing and then you being able to fill those holes in later.
Yeah, exactly. I will immediately after call be able to be like, oh, I didn't hit this thing, or I did hit this thing, or like I could have done a better job of that. It's to the point where Danielle's getting like, I don't know, man, you gave yourself all the feedback you need. Like
Yeah. Yeah. There are some moments where I'm like, nope, A++, you nailed it. You even coached yourself. I agree completely. Bye. Yeah. Okay.